Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Joe Prano podcast. This is episode 15, and we will get right into today's episode because it has been a few months. Few months? No, hasn't been a few months. A few weeks since I put up a new episode, and I know a lot of you are chomping at the bit for some more JPP. So we will hop into today's episode with two fantastic artists that I was able to sit down with here in Venice, JULES MUCK and Preece. Two people that I wanted to have on the podcast separately, but ended up doing the show together, which we talk about. One thing that I haven't had on the show yet is a visual artist. And another thing that I haven't had on the show much yet is some women. So I have a number of artists, visual artists, who are women whose work I really, really admire. And Annie is somebody that I've followed on social media for a long time. We've followed each other going back, a bunch of years now. And I've always really, really enjoyed her work and just her attitude on social media. So I reached out to her. I was like, visual artist and woman, checking both boxes. Let's do it. I messaged her, didn't hear back super fast. So I reached out to JULES MUCK, who is the queen of Venice art. Her murals and boxes and paintings are all over Venice, and so that was somebody that I wanted to have on as well. So I reached out to Jules, and she says, well, I'm on a road trip, but keep an eye on my Instagram, and when I get back, we can do it. And then in the meantime, Annie got back to me and said, yeah, let's do it. So we go back and forth for a while, and she's like, you know what, I'm actually going to be in Venice this week. Why don't you meet me over at this address? And I showed up, and it's Jules' house, and Jules is there. And so it ended up being just a perfect storm of female artistry. So you get a 2-for-1 episode this week, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Before we get into it, obviously you can support the show at patreon.com/Joe Prano. Rate, review, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. It's everything for podcasts. So please go do that. I've got some shows coming up. December 12th through 16th, I'll be back at the Improv in Tahoe. So if you're one of my Reno, Tahoe crew, I hope you'll make it out to that. Message me because there's usually guest list tickets. I'll also be back on the East Coast at the end of January. So just stay on joeprano.com for show dates and come out and see me. And if you're ever coming, please do message me in advance if there's anything I can ever do for the JPP listeners, whether it's guest lists or discount tickets or drink tickets or anything like that. I'm always down to show you guys the same support that you show me. So let's get into it. This is episode 15 with JULES MUCK and Preece, a.k.a. Muck Rock, and Love Annie. Enjoy the show.
Hey Joe, I like your show. I tell everybody that's my shit. And if you got a long ride and you like getting high, maybe go and take another hit. We gonna laugh out loud, that's what it's about. Nobody ain't safe no more. And Joe stands out even in the big crowd, cause the motherfucker's 6'4". Hey Joe, it's time to start the show. Up and away we go. Mic check and I like your flow. Everybody, here's Joe.
Looking at them? Yeah. You know what? It's a risk. I do it sometimes when I'm bombing. And then I'm like, why is that leg there? I get confused. Look at all that's going on with that part. It's confusing here. You don't understand. And they look really bad if you miss a chin or something. You're like, what happened to that bunny? You gotta look, because I can't remember. This line goes up and down and then in and then around and around.
It's so very real.
So you're painting bunnies on the jacket?
Yeah.
fucking bunnies.
And you've done a million of these bunnies.
That's what I
but
do.
you have to look at. You still
Someone
have to look
actually wrote me a message the other day to tell me all you do with your life is paint bunnies. And I said, no, I paint other things too.
All right, we're gonna get this thing going.
All right.
You ladies ready?
Ready as ever.
All right, I am here in Venice with two of my favorite artists.
You lie.
I don't lie. I've only hit up 3
Wait,
artists
who's
about
the
doing.
third?
Yeah, who's the third?
I know.
And
Should I
who
say-
did you hit up
Yeah.
first?
I actually hit up Annie first,
Oh,
and then yourself.
okay. And who was the last
and then
egg?
the third one was,
That's why we don't
which
know
I
it's
wanted to
real
start
art.
by asking you guys, Annie, when I looked you up, just like I like to do my research, so I went on Wikipedia, you know. Everything that's on Wikipedia is true, I assume. But the first thing it says is street artist, which
Is a little
what
bit
is
gay.
what like where is street art? Is that just a new way of saying somebody does graffiti?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And it's any ass hack can get.
That's what the galleries invented to sell graffiti,
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
It's like people that don't like spray paint letters and they just wheat paste Marilyn Monroe's face around. Those are
Right.
street artists.
Right. And what? How long have you guys known each other?
10 years.
Feels like forever.
Yeah. 10 years. We come as a set.
Yeah.
It's like salt and pepper.
Yeah.
I know.
We're an acquired taste.
It was kismet. I hit up Jules. She said she was on the road trip, which I followed.
It was
closely
true.
on Instagram, where you follow all good art these days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I hit up you, and you were like, "Yeah, we'll do it. I'll be in Venice." Here you are at Jules' place. So I
know.
get a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
Listeners, I'm gonna make them pay extra for this one.
Mm-hmm.
You should.
So, do you guys work on things together? Do you do projects together? Do you do?
Yes.
Yeah, we've done that. We've done some shit. What did we do?
We did a 100-foot mural in South Central, and we Lisa Franked that shit. So in the heart of South Central, we did a
Massive
Close it up.
Lisa Frank mural, just to give some brightness to the area. Unfortunately, we also chose to do a topless Tupac, which was seen as derogatory for a nearby homeless Christian man.
who fancied himself an artist.
A top.
And he had only flesh tone paint colors. So he painted on
He painted a suit on Tupac, but he painted
but he
basically
painted
a
a flesh-colored suit.
But our Tupac was topless yet purple.
Right.
So
I feel like every artist rendition you see of Tupac, he's
he's
shirtless.
topless. Yeah.
Right? Like
I mean,
what?
he's got a good enough
Not that
situation.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And that-
Let's do that for my the bad tattoo I want from you is I want thug life
okay.
on my stomach.
Yeah.
Hug life. Pug life.
Pug life.
Pug life.
Tug life.
Yeah, we might have to alter it.
Now you were saying before we started recording, you do bad tattoo night,
Yeah, pretty much whenever we're bored, it's bad tattoo night.
and are bad tattoos free?
You know, it's like whoever's willing to give me money, God bless them.
Well, that was one of my big questions I had was in art, like, what is the process out of the gate when you're like, I have to make money doing this somehow? Because in the comedy business, you're like, that's the end goal, right? You're going to get paid to do comedy. In art, are you looking at it the same way, or is it just, hey, I'm going to paint some shit and then
I think
maybe
it's
one
like
day?
half and half. Like half the time we just paint some shit, and then I always tell people like no one would have ever paid me if I wasn't already painting. Like they weren't gonna pay me to paint if I was sitting on my ass waiting to get paid to paint.
Right.
So that's how it went.
There's a saying that goes, hustle until you no longer have to introduce yourself. So, I mean, when I started painting, I didn't even know I could paint. Like, I didn't even pick up a paintbrush for the first time until I was 28. It was many years ago. But that was never the intention. I was just like, oh, this is cool. Look at me. I'm artsy and shit. And then, like, but I sold paintings right out of the gate. Like, I don't know how that
What were you doing before that?
just being an asshole.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What-
but now
what
it's
we were
more
all doing
acceptable.
before 28.
Yeah, like it's more acceptable because I'm like, but I'm an artist, right? So you can kind of get like you could really be an asshole all the time, and that is like the greatest excuse. I'm an artist, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jules is painting 2 bunnies having sex on a jean
Hi.
jacket. Hi.
And I also paint them outside of schools and other places. That
And she
public
is a
people
paid
go.
asshole.
Yeah.
And I think that is the goal, is to be paid to be an asshole. Which we have both achieved.
How many bunnies have you painted?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we reproduce them also because we silk screen them and we print them. And
Sort of your signature.
yeah, and I've only been doing them for 2 years. So I had other signatures before this that I get. What happens is I get bored of stuff and then new things happen. And as soon as I found out this annoyed people, this became my favorite thing.
Yeah. It's funny because my girlfriend is obsessed with your stuff around Venice. She goes, she checks out everywhere. She was in Rochester when you were in Rochester.
Oh, no shit.
She went to the taco shop, but she hates the bunnies. And I'm like, it's such a polarizing thing. These fucking bunnies smoking cigarettes.
It is.
It
It causes
does
a
piss so many
huge
people
rift
off.
between people because
Yeah.
some people love them and some people hate them, and I think that's really funny.
What was behind the first painting of the bunnies?
Well, I did a year of garbage bombing because my friend, who was a garbage picker, died, and as an homage to him, I've decided to go around town. Well, also it was during Venice's huge, real like wave of gentrification where everyone got pushed out and all their shit got thrown on the curb. So there was all this garbage everywhere, like couches and ovens, and I painted it. I painted on that stuff, and then one of the things was this dirty old mattress, and I painted it with, well, I just would look at stuff and be like, what goes there? Fucking bunnies. And I found a photo, and it's the same photo I used today that I'm looking at right now because I still can't remember how to paint the bunnies. But I painted it, and I gave him a cigarette. It just worked. This mattress was like a 70s twin, so it wasn't big enough for like dogs fucking. Or anything. It had to be bunnies. And then there was cigarette burns, so there had to be a cigarette. And I gave it to the bottom bunny, kind of just because it was like, oh, this is so boring. You know, I'm just going to smoke. And what happened was that got taken off the street within an hour. And it really like kind of made me sad that the piece was gone. So I painted it on a liquor store. And then I found out one night I was sitting somewhere and I got a message that was like, somebody's painting over the bunnies. And I was so mad, and I was like going to kill the person. I was on my way to kill the person when I stopped to talk to our mutual friend, Josh Lazy, that she's paying the shoes for. And he
Tiny
said,
dicks.
before you
All over.
kill anybody, let's find out what's going on. So it turned out that
Oh, Josh is the voice of reason. That is terrifying.
I know, right? Anyway, what happened was the owner had asked this other artist, who still was kind of shady by not contacting me, to paint over my stuff. And then as I was upsettedly, kind of just accepting that fact, Josh was like, well, why don't you just go paint more bunnies? And thus it began.
What
So Josh was the catalyst, really.
Pretty
And
much.
he's responsible for the fucking bunnies everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
What percentage, and I'm sure it's changed over the years, but what percentage of the stuff that you guys do on the street did somebody ask for, or did you just do on your own?
I mean, I don't know the percentage, but I have no idea what the percentage would be. I mean, it's definitely, as time goes on, more and more people are asking.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah,
not asking.
like the bigger audience you have or whatever, like the more they're like, oh, well, we want a JULES MUCK piece or we want an Annie Preece piece or whatever the fuck. But like, I don't know. I haven't like really done any illegal stuff in a long time, except for that mad throwaway we did in the
We did that
fucking
last
alley.
night.
I know.
don't know what you're talking about.
Except for
last
that.
night, you were running around scribbling on
Sometimes 12 hours can be a long
I
It's
time.
a long night. Actually, you still have to
So
go
I
through
had
it.
this foxtail, like those foxtails that you clip on and
Yeah.
shit. Do I have one in my? And I brought it here, and this was last night, and I started freaking out because I could not find it, and forever I was looking all over. Right, Kyle? I did. I freaked. I'm like, where is my foxtail?
And then she stole my fox hat.
And then I
Both
stole
of
her
these are
fox
fake.
hat. But the foxtail, I mean, I'm like really concerned about this foxtail because it's very important to have one at 37 years old in your head. So I go and we go and we do something, I don't know. And I looked at
Illegal
it,
graffiti.
It's
That's
in
what
my
you did.
shirt. It's just hanging out there.
It was just karma, Annie.
Karma.
karma for doing illicit situations.
Now,
painting on people's
Annie,
stuff.
like I said, tried to do my research, went on Wikipedia. For an artist, you've been on 2 reality TV shows.
Is that all? Are we
Is-
sure it was
as far-
more?
Is there more?
I don't know. There
Outtakes.
might be. There might be.
Yeah, why don't you
Surfer
talk about-
Sam has just arrived. America is great.
Wait, which ones did you find?
I found the street art throwdown, which just is hilarious to me.
Oh,
that's
it's
even
terrible.
That's a thing that even
Oh, my-
Very
exists.
embarrassing for
Jules
everyone
was
involved.
on that as well.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I was only there to make sure Annie won.
Did you win?
She won
I
the
did.
segment I was on.
I made it to the finale. I did, and then I came in dead ass last in the finale.
I feel like with those reality shows, you don't want to win.
No, they.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And I benefited a lot from that. I got to
Yeah,
really,
you were doing a lot of different promo shit afterwards.
Yeah, like I probably made more money than whatever fucking it was $100,000 or something.
To
it was
win.
so cheesy. Okay, so I was actually painting a mural with Muck at Saatchi Art, and it was like this really ridiculous, super random mural. And I got a call about being on that show, and I'm like, I don't know. And I was running it by her, and she's like, well, throw my name in there. And I'm like, okay. So when I went, I mean, I ran it by a lot of people because reality TV is like super cheesy. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing in comedy where it's like no one wants to do it, but then the first time, last comic standing calls somebody, you're like, well, it is TV.
Yeah,
and they're gonna
like
pay me. And
no
then-
such thing as bad press.
Yeah.
That's very true. And so I talked to a bunch of people about it, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. And they paid me to be on it. And they asked Jules to be a judge. They asked me to be a contestant. I ended up on that show Talk Soup a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was such a fucking idiot on there.
Now, in the art world, obviously you guys are 2 artists and you're friends. When you go on a show like that, is there art world backlash?
Yeah. Oh no, it's trolls on the
so
internet. You
bad.
know about trolls on the
Yes, I
internet.
do.
Oh,
The
man.
trolls
It's the
were
sole
in
reason
full
that I'm
effect.
doing
Oh,
this show.
full effect.
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
making
yeah.
up like fake Annie Preece Instagrams telling me to go kill myself. It was awesome,
Yeah.
dude. I loved it. Jules, on the other hand, she gets upset about it.
Yeah, I cried.
I
Oh,
think
look,
it's
I found
hilarious.
your lighter.
You get upset.
No, I get.
with
They
trolls on-
they say really mean shit to me.
Yeah.
And I do take it like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because you know why it upsets me? Because it's always people that I'm like, you guys were supposed to be on the same team here. Why are you attacking me? And look what's happening in the world while you're busy attacking me. Because they've said some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah,
But
what
it's
kind
like,
of stuff? What kind of stuff gets?
Oh, well, I recently got called racist because the bunnies are white.
You got to run the story. No, like
I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like, I mean, I don't even want to give these people any airtime. But let me tell you, they look. I finally came to the conclusion that they are actually the ones that have all these hang-ups, and
Yeah.
they're trying to pin it on people. I don't know why. Because if you look at my Instagram, it's pretty freaking apparent that I'm not racist, considering who I paint, what I've painted for, So I think that it's a little bit of a twist, and that they actually have some hang-ups. A lot of them are in areas that maybe they don't get the education they
Them are
deserve.
12 years old in their mom's basement,
Probably
jerking off.
also-
Like it's
probably
like,
also, but there's a little bit of mean girl stuff going on. And I don't mean that they're all girls, even though a lot of them are girls. But they get like together, and then they're like me. And I've even had them come as a group to me while I'm painting, because they put out an APB. Muck Rock is painting on bloody blah. You should go give her a piece of your mind. Now and then they show up. Of course, to my face, they're extremely cordial. And they say stuff like, well, why do you think it's okay to anthropomorphize the rabbits? You are anthropomorphizing the rabbits by giving them a cigarette. Rabbits do not have sex and smoke. And I'm like, they do in my artwork.
Yeah.
Why is it a problem for you? The children might see the rabbits anthropomorphizing and having sex and smoking. And they may also try that at home or something. I don't know what they're afraid of.
If there's something that bunnies are famous for, it's fucking.
I know this.
And if there's something that goes with fucking, it's a post sex cigarette.
Or
Like, you're
during,
not-
or
yeah.
during.
Yeah, or during. Yeah, I guess if you're.
Well, it's just about how ridiculous it is. But this is the kind of thing that I deal with. And yeah, like eventually, you know what happens? It doesn't bother me in Venice because I'm at home. But when you're out on the road and you're like in all these different towns, because I do all these tours where I'm like all over the place, and then like I'm like here to meet you and have fun and paint and let's hang out, and then all of a sudden there's a group of artists, and these are people that call themselves artists that are like, get out of here, we hate you. They make a stencil. They made a stencil once that says get the get the fuck out, the muck, with my name. So they're putting me up as well, M-U-C-K. Get the fuck out, muck. And they're stenciling, like they can't write the letters, get the fuck out, muck. They need a stencil. So that's the kind of thing that I mean. Like, yeah, I'm like, my feelings are hurt. My inner child is back in second grade where I was ridiculed repeatedly.
That's why next time I'm going with her. Because
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, then I'll just
And
be
I'm a
like,
scrapper.
this is Annie. Meet Annie. Have
Yeah.
fun.
Well,
Please paint a picture of me getting
it's the
fucked
thi-
by a
it's-
bunny.
That's
Oh,
the thing
yeah.
in comedy where you tell a joke and somebody doesn't like it. They message you. They go on your website.
Oh,
they go
everybody's
whatever,
so
and
fucking
it's like,
sensitive.
Just fucking leave.
Yeah.
Like you don't like
What?
it, just
Don't
leave.
look at it.
They can't
If
do
you
it.
Listen to
paint
it.
fucking bunnies and they don't like, you're moving on to the next town. It's really easy to paint over it if you've truly ruined somebody's fucking day.
Well, the thing is that they don't, always get to control everybody else's visual atmosphere. Like, there's other people that like the bunnies and want the bunnies on their property, and now I have other artists that go around fixing the bunnies when they do try
Bunny
to.
fixers.
There's a lot of bunny fixers, and they get free bunny merch, and if you happen to be a bunny fixer, you get free T-shirts and everything else that comes with
Fix
that.
some bunnies, bro.
So I know where some bunnies are ragged right now. There was a girl who had her Halloween shtick on Instagram was, it's not Easter, it's Halloween. And she ran around writing red stuff on the bunnies. And she was really cool. Not really. But that was her thing.
I don't give a shit.
Do you
I think it's hilarious when people clown me. I'm like, that's awesome. But initially when I was getting hated on, I was like, ugh.
Oh, yeah,
And
you
then
got
I just stopped. I stopped reading it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. This is awesome. They're giving me more press. Please talk. Let those bitches talk. I love it.
Yeah, it seems like it would only help, like you said. There's
It
no
only
such thing as
helps.
bad
It
press.
It does help. I still think it's weird. Because I'm like, you know what? We have other people. We actually have real problems to deal with in the world. And you guys are wastes of time.
Like
And-
Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's people to make fun of. There's things, and my feeling is that they're scared of making fun of the real issue, and they don't want to say anything bad about someone who might actually. They're wimps, and so they target me because they know I'm not going to do anything to them. And who knows? I might go postal one day.
I will go postal any day because I love that shit. I'm always down for a good scrap.
Is there ever hate art? You ever put up art just to fuck with people?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you're
that's like the
a-
story of
a
my life.
response?
It's my whole career is based around that. Dude. What else have you done? Oh, I did this one mural, and it was just painted terribly. It was horrible.
Oh, the dick mural?
And what it was, I haven't even told you about this one.
I mean, if you didn't know that was going to
You're
cause
young.
a
I
problem.
don't know if are you going to be offended?
Earmuffs.
You want to be offended, huh? Young Sam. So I did this mural, and it was in an alleyway behind a barbershop. And the barbershop's, I think it might still be running, actually. It was the proper barbershop in Hollywood. And I had a friend that owned it, and he goes, well, you want to paint a mural? I'm like, no problem. And he goes, be obnoxious. And I'm like, no problem. And so I went and I painted, I can't even remember what I painted. A joint with wings. This is it's okay to smoke joints everywhere. A big black dick. A crucified bleeding vagina. Literally, it was a vagina.
I think I recall this, yeah.
And then.
Unless you've done multiple bleeding crucified vaginas.
I think
Probably.
I have, actually. I'm going to own that one. And then, what was it? What was it?
Wasn't there a lot of dicks involved?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of dicks. But, I mean, I think there might have been, like, a Ku Klux Klan Care Bear. No, that was somebody else's property. No, this was,
And I get called racist for the white rabbits, really.
So it was so bad. It was so unbelievably offensive, and I'm like, by no means do like I care about any of that shit. And I did it just to be obnoxious, and it literally ran. I was very proud of myself. 3 hours. The cops were called, and I was like, "This is awesome!" And once again, I made it. And then it was in the Beverly Hills newspaper did a whole completely offensive mural. So the cops came, and they were gonna find the.
How did the person that asked you to do it feel about it?
Oh, they thought it was awesome. But they didn't. They thought it was
Customer's
awesome
always
until
right, you know?
Yeah, they thought it was awesome until the cops came, and were like, "Listen, if you don't change this, you're gonna get fined. And if you don't change this within 24 hours, you're gonna get fined. And if you don't change it, even then, you're gonna get fined, and you're going to jail." And I was like,
Wow,
"You guys
you
are
could
such
go to
buzzkills, bro." So I had to change the big black cock into a giant carrot. And what did I can't even fucking
carrot?
remember.
Really?
I can't
That's
even
what you
recall.
came
I'm so
up-
fucking punched out, dude. I don't know what I did yesterday. Except do some legal graffiti.
What is the piece that you guys are most proud of?
Together?
No, separately. Or together.
I don't know. That's a good
Are
question.
you proud of any of your work?
No, I mean, I don't think I am.
I think it changes by the day, you know, like sometimes you're like, oh, style-wise, that was the best, but like getting over-wise, that was the best, you know, like when I climbed that thing, that was really cool, or when I like did this really beautiful piece, you know, or when you do some, like depending on where you're at mentally, like sometimes when you do something that's like a service to the community, feels awesome. You know, I was like painting inside the juvenile detention center in Miami, and it was really touching because they like let the little kids paint with me. That's
you know,
that
always
was
the best.
fucking cool. Yeah.
Like when we get hired, like actually Jules and I got hired to paint an elementary school.
Yeah.
It's
No
amazing
penises.
with just all the things that you've
Oh, I
already
know.
said, that
I'm
they're
like, how does?
are you guys free to do the elementary
They
school?
have no idea.
Do you want fucking bunnies or bleeding vaginas?
Yeah.
No,
or you want us to
that's
collaborate?
the thing. I want to just make it really clear that we paint a lot.
Yeah.
And about 10% of the time, it's offensive stuff. 10%. And then I have people coming up to me, why do you only paint offensive stuff? I'm like, did you notice my Aretha Franklin memorial? Did you notice, you know, like I do so many.
They only notice the Charles Manson.
Then they're like,
memorial.
why did you paint Charles Manson? You know, he died. What do you want from me?
Jules is always getting herself in
I
trouble.
get in a lot of trouble. You know, it's an accident though. Most of the time, I'm actually not trying to be offensive. There's just something that happens where I fuck up a lot. But I paint a lot, so I don't actually fuck up as many times as I don't fuck up. It's just no one fucking notices when you do anything right.
Right.
You notice that in life?
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So, you said you're not trying to piss people off, obviously. When you're painting, obviously every project's different. Somebody asked you to do a pair of Vans, but what are you trying to do? Like when you sit down to start, what is first and foremost the goal?
I don't ever have. So here's the difference between Jules and I. Jules paints from photographs. I can't paint from a photograph. I'm full retard. They all look like, if I even try, it looks like it has Down syndrome. Like it just doesn't work out for me. I paint from my head. So that's why we either kill it together artistically when we do collabs,
I
or
paint
they're
to turn
terribly
off
wrong.
my head. I want nothing to do with my head, and I paint to not think.
Well,
So I
that,
just
yeah,
like
me
to
too.
stop.
But like, I can't like.
But in a meditative way, where it's
Yeah,
coming
like
from
I
your head, but your
meditate. Like
brain's
I'm
off.
like totally like me. What does my mom say? My mom's brain purrs. So I guess my purse. But I was like, I just sit there and like space out. But I can't. Like she's painting.
We don't know.
Susan. Yeah, we do. Three's Company.
Three's Company.
Suzanne Summers.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
Done
you
and
go.
done. I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like I can't do.
But I've seen you use reference
missing
and
words right now.
enhance it, like when you were doing the goldfish and stuff. Like
Oh
when
yeah, I
you-
do like more like
When you
what
work
am I
with
doing?
some little references and then tweak on it, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But you just don't do.
Portraits. There we go.
My
Wow, it
brother,
took me,
my
like,
little
a whole
brother
minute.
calls me a glorified copy machine. So he's an accountant.
You talked
Much
about your
more.
mom's brain purring. What do your parents think about what you guys do?
My mom she's like, nothing phases her anymore. I mean, I came
yeah.
home. I remember coming home. I think I was 17, and it was like 16 or 17. And it was the first tattoo I ever had. And I got in somebody's house, and it was done with a Walkman motor, and it was right on my neck. You want to see it? It's really bad.
Yes, I do.
It's like it's a
Actually pretty
swallow
good
on
for
my
a
neck.
Walkman motor.
And then it looks like a smear nowadays, but like so it was all really uphill from there.
Right, yeah.
Right,
You
know?
start with the neck tattoo.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else, like until you get one on your face.
Yeah.
You're good, right?
But Jules was just saying that she's surprised I don't have any face tattoos. But the night
Yeah.
is still young.
Right.
And we
So
don't
what
really have
should I get
anything
on
to
my
do.
Sam, what should I get on my face? You're so shy right now. It's adorable.
Sam,
He
do you have
doesn't
any
even
tattoos?
have a microphone, though.
No.
Do you want a face tat? Are you sure? Where's that really good-looking guy?
As per usual.
All the good-looking guys go surfing.
When somebody asks you guys to do a piece, whatever it is, how do you come up with a price for that? Like, how does that?
So you pull it out of my ass. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
totally.
Totally.
Just
Like, I
pops
mean,
in
you
the
gotta
bucket.
kind of feel the person out. Like, does this person, are they gonna be calling collect, trying to like pick up their piece, or are they like, are they living in a Persian palace? Like, I don't know.
I just get a fucking number in my head, and I'm like, okay. And sometimes, like in the beginning, I would check with someone, but like now, it's so often that the number that pops into my head is the right number, that I'm just like bear. And I always tell people too, if it's someone that like I feel like is a real contributor to the world, also that I really appreciate what they do, I'm always like, look, like this is what I would normally ask, but I really appreciate your, if it's like a musician or actor, something that I'm like, wow, I'm just honored to be of service to you. I'll tell them like, this is what I would charge, but like, I'll do it for whatever, this much. And they usually say, shut up, here's your money. You
Right.
know, like, cause they know, I think we're really fair. Like, I know my prices are really fair compared to like most muralists. Cause especially male muralists. Like, I know they add a zero.
Oh yeah, let's get on that.
I was going there because I like I said, you guys are two of my favorite artists.
Oh, I
and
love you. Oh my god.
There's the whole in everything now, whether it be in Hollywood acting, comedy, music. Then how are females treated in art as compared to
come on.
males? I mean,
Well,
I know you said
I've shown with
add a
yeah.
zero, but like how does that play out in terms of like what is asked of you, prices?
Nobody hires
Respect.
female street artists.
No, like
there's so
for-
few.
no, in
far
the art
between.
world in general. It's
Yeah,
fucked. Like
it's
look at
nobody.
the statistics. Like the Gorilla Girls did those statistics. 99% of the nudes in the Met are female. 5% of the art in the Met is by a female. So we're, wanted to be subjects, not to be the people that are producing. And I've found that I've eaten shit. I've eaten so much shit. I've had people change my murals into women, but they painted up, like weird stuff. And I'm like, dude, it's freaking horrible. I've been hired to paint the interior murals when they hire a guy to paint the exterior because they didn't think that I would be able to get on a scaffold, even though they were really happy with my interiors. I mean, it's lame. It sucks.
It seems like, especially with art that's on the street, you wouldn't even, if you saw something you liked from somebody, like until I started following you, Jules, on Instagram, I didn't know you're a woman.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's how I get most of my work, I think. The big jobs, they don't even know. They're writing me an email, and that's why I use the name Jules, too, like, and Muck. Like, they don't know if I'm a male or female. And I've gotten the best jobs I've gotten.
I still don't know if you're a
Well, exactly. But yeah. The best jobs I got, and they're still referring to me as a dude on the emails. And I'm just let it go. Like, okay, whatever.
Doesn't that suck?
Yeah.
Isn't that awful?
But what is that based in? Is that just toxic masculinity? Is that the patriarchy?
Well, we're definitely in a like, especially with street art and graffiti.
Oh, that's even worse than fine
It's
art.
a boys' club for sure.
Yeah.
But fine
Like
art already.
comedy, there's, and then when you are like a good female artist, you stand out. But you have to work. You have to work twice as hard. Or you
I mean, I
fuck
think
your way
that
to the
it's
top, I
even
don't
worse
know.
with the graffiti and street art than fine art, and that's
you really don't
because
get
there's
any
also
respect.
like the degree of physical violence that comes with graffiti that like we're excluded from, like and I've had situations where I can't even solve my own problems because I'm not respected to show up in person and fight someone, and that's the only way that I could proceed. And at that point, I have to bring in dudes,
But wait, what are you fighting people over?
well, space in the street, Like, there's a lot of weird stuff that's happened over the years, whether it's with people that are against my subject matter, or there's people that are against my presence. There's been people that are like, if you don't sleep with me, you can't paint in my city. Like, there's stuff like...
Like the mayor?
I'd be like, all right, cool.
It's fucked up. No, I've had people say I'm blacklisted from towns and buy spray paint and say they're sponsored to go over me and give it to other graffiti writers. Like, this is from dudes. This is what dudes do when they're insecure. Because it's very intimidating to them that a female would have more shit on the street than them.
That's right. That's right.
It seems like, with especially street art, like the amount of space for people would be unlimited. Is that
No.
No, because when you get to a point in your career, you can't really get away with doing a whole lot of illegal stuff because
Right.
they're like, I don't know who that bitch is. Let's call the cops on him. Like it's. You
But is
can't
it like
do that.
you're driving down the street, there's
I
a big
think it-
blank
I
wall, and
think
you're
it
like,
is-
fuck, I gotta figure out how to get in on that? Or
I think that it is unlimited, but like people don't use their brain power enough to like crack the next spot. Like back in the day, there was like Rebs who was doing this thing where it was called Graf Breeds Graf, and he would hit a new spot, and as soon as he hit it, he would write his name and Graf Breeds Graf, and it would get covered, all around it. And like that was a thing. Cracking a new spot was a thing. And like nowadays, it's more like people are just trying to like get spots that are already up. And a lot of it is like they're scared to hit something that's not hit because if they hit, like say a graffiti writer goes and paints on a mural, they think they're not going to get in as much trouble, which is not necessarily the case because if the mural is protected, they can get.
Well, I'll battle it out, mural style, unicorns on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna cap everybody.
But like,
Unicorn.
it's not about space. It's about territory, and like I experience it a lot because I travel to places that I'm not from, and it's people that are like, who the fuck is this in my town? And they didn't.
It's just haters. It just comes out of
It's
people
haters.
like jealous.
It's yeah.
Jules
I mean,
can paint, so like she gets hated on. That's what it is.
it's weird,
that's
man.
all-
There's
that's
a lot
all
of
it
different
is.
reasons. I've tried to figure out why, but like, as long as people are fucking people, there's gonna be problems.
If you're aiming to be as good as the boys, you're aiming too low.
Yeah.
Now, I asked you guys about prices in terms of somebody commissions you to do something. What about when you go to sell your art personally, whether it's a gallery or somebody says, I saw this, I want to buy it. Where do you,
Okay, so usually galleries take 50%, so you market twice as high. You
Right.
know, like, I mean, again, it depends on the person. Like, I mean, I feel like Jules might be nicer than me. Like,
I just fucking hate art. Like I love to paint. I fucking hate having paintings around.
she busts them out quick.
I
I'm like
don't.
a slow
I
painter.
pay
So you wanna get
rent
rid of
right
it,
now.
yeah.
I pay rent to keep my paintings in a storage. So that annoys me, first of all. Of course, I can't liquidate them because I'm obligated to my people that have paid a decent price not to sell them
Right.
low. But that doesn't make me happy. I'm stoked that people pay a lot, but I've never gotten to the huge numbers that I have friends that sell paintings for 30 grand. And I also know that they only sell about 2 paintings a year. And I'm not down for that.
No.
Like, I'm trying to move art. Most of my stuff is definitely only 4 figures. I haven't exceeded the 4 figures in terms of a canvas. I have in terms of a mural, but that's like, covering massive space. And I don't know, like, yeah, people are like, oh, you should blah, 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 charge more. But like, I don't want to wait a year to sell a painting.
No, and you don't want to price yourself out because there's only a certain number of people in the world that can purchase a $30,000 painting.
right.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I don't know, your average household, I don't know. I'm losing words here. I'm punched out. Dude.
But also, there's got to be a thing with the people, and you guys tell me if this is right, but people who are willing to pay some enormous amount for art maybe not often the people that you want to have your art.
I don't
Yeah,
care
no,
who
it's-
has my
it's-
art.
You
No,
don't-
straight up, do not care.
don't
Get
give
away
a fuck.
from me.
Donald Trump fill the White House. with
Fuck it.
fuck
I would
bunnies.
love to be able to paint the White House. Yeah, and we could put some secret shit in there. Yeah, no problem with that. I paint for fucking beer companies and I'm sober. You know, I paint
Yeah.
for everybody. Like, I don't have a problem painting for people. I'd rather them have access to a little bit of something in their life that might, you know, be energetically better for them. I'm not like, oh, you can't have the painting.
I always like it's weird, like any celebrities or whatever I've ever painted for, I've always been like rock stars. Like
Yeah, the
edgier
musicians are the
type.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, the musicians are the most supportive. people.
Yeah, I've what up? Yeah, and that's my contribution to that conversation.
I have a favorite Annie Preece piece that I've seen on the internet over the years, and I always wanted to know what inspired it.
Is it a dick?
No, it's the Twinkie Mr. Twinkie
blowing
fucking
his
blowing
brains
his
out
brains
and the
out.
stuffing coming
And
out?
instead of the blood, it's cream filling coming out the other side.
Oh, you didn't see that one.
I think, is it on a door or a window?
It's
or
on a window. Oh, it's painted terribly. It's
I
so,
think it's fucking amazing.
So it was when they discontinued Twinkies. Remember that
Right,
shit?
Yeah.
And everyone was freaking out.
Very
Right?
timely art as well.
I know. Oh, that's how. Okay, so Jules and I have mastered the art of getting press, and what it is like. Is to be obnoxious at just the right time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, everybody's coming out with this awesome Donald Trump fucking hater art. It's awesome. I love it. I just love that shit, dude. I wish I could. That's when I wish I could paint a portrait. I mean, I could do a retarded. Well,
That's
it is retarded.
Yeah, it's
I gotta
a little
say,
redundant.
my
retarded Donald
favorite
Trump.
stuff of Annie's also is her half retard, like just retarded
everything's
shit. Like
half
no,
retarded.
no. You do some fancier shit too, which I could see is like very high end and you know, la di da. But I really like her raw shit because it's hilarious and there's no filter. There's nothing that like hides how freaking funny it is, and you could tell you just did like done.
Like I did I did a Campbell soup can, and I'm trying to like I don't know why the fuck I was doing this. I remember this too, and I remember sitting and I'm like, man, I'm a street artist, bro. I'm gonna paint some Andy Warhol shit. I'm gonna paint a Campbell soup can. I'm trying to paint this motherfucker again. I can't work off a picture. I'm full retard, and I'm trying to paint this motherfucker, and I can't get it right. Can't do it. And so then finally I crossed out the fucking thing and I just, you know what? Fuck your Campbell soup. And it just took off, dude.
Yeah.
And I've sold that image more times than any other painting. Like literally went postal. Like
So you're saying when you did that in the first place, it's an homage. It's like a positive. You were trying to do a positive thing, like,
Yeah.
oh, Andy Warhol, he's the fucking coolest, because it certainly comes off like.
well, it's not even that so much he's like the coolest. It's that he has. Here's the thing: is people really like recognizable images.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why Marilyn Monroe's been reproduced so much. The fucking soup can, all that bullshit. And I don't know where I was trying to go with that. I don't know why. I think I was just trying to do my version of a Campbell
Yeah.
soup, and then it definitely turned into my version of a Campbell soup. And it's like, I mean, even now I have some up in a gallery in Hollywood. Like, and the guy, the curator, he sends me. He's really nice. He sends me like all these really nice
I
inspirations.
know he's so nice.
He's so nice.
What's
He's
the
really
Door
nice.
Gallery? That's where we're hanging right now. If you want to see any of our
Where is
work.
it?
The Door Gallery.
The
on
Door Gallery.
Cahuenga in Hollywood.
Yeah. So we both threw up some work there.
Great.
And the guy's really nice.
And
I don't
to
know
go
his
back to that soup can, but like when I see that with no reference whatsoever, it seems like the sole purpose would be taking the piss out of the original thing. You're saying fuck.
Well,
Candy
that's
soup.
what it
Right,
ultimately
that's
came. I'm like, what? No, because I had this moment and I couldn't get it right, and I'm all, and then I had like this 30 seconds of like clarity, and I'm all, why the fuck am I doing somebody else's artwork right now? Fuck this, like, and literally, fuck
I don't
this.
know.
So it kind of worked out perfect, and that's what happens a lot. You know what I mean? In art, where like I know for me when I'm like really trying hard, and if I overthink it, it looks like shit. And if I just let my thoughts,
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
then it always is like the best painting.
The more zoned out, the better.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, cool. What happened there? I swear I'll be painting a wall so close to it, and it's like fucking, 4-story wall, and I'm right here, so I don't know what I'm painting, and I'm like doing an eyeball that's like this big, I can't even reach the end of the eye, and then I back up, and I'm like, oh shit, it worked. Like, how the hell did that happen? Like,
Yeah.
you just are like, whoa, crazy.
Is there ever a time when you're doing something that big, and whoever's asked you to do it comes out and says it didn't work?
I'm trying to think,
Nope.
No.
They
No.
usually dig it. Like, they'll be like, there's times when people are like, can you add this or can you change this? But they always do it like, it's weird. It'll be like, it's the kind of person. You can tell the kind of person. And you can tell that they complain about every meal they're ever served, every fucking
Can I
thing they
speak to a
try
manager,
on.
Karen?
That person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need an answer.
What is it?
No, I need him to make an Insta because he's like the Instagram story.
Oh, he's
guy.
good at the Instagram.
He puts some dope beats on some Instagram. He puts some dope beats on my shit.
Kyle had never even seen Instagram till I met
And
him
now
and
he's
was
like a
like, can you hold
professional
this?
Now, since it just came up, I feel like Instagram must have changed the game entirely, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
is it all about fucking
Everyone's a
Instagram
fucking
likes?
artist.
Yeah, I mean, it is easy. It's easier to travel because of Instagram, because people are like, oh, I already know you. Yeah, come here. They're like sending me deposits without meeting me because they're like, I
Yeah,
see you
that
every
one's
freaking
dope.
day. I know what you're doing. I know where you've been. I know where you live. And,
Yeah.
And on the flip side, it also leaves you open to these weird stalker people
stalkers.
that are so creepy that they screenshot your Instagram and make fan pages up and make memes up and send you cupcakes and...
There's been a number of memes made about my idiot ass,
Oh,
but stalkers. I had one show up at my Dallas solo show.
Yeah,
You know, I
I
had to get
had that happen in my
her-
New York
her.
one.
The lesbians love me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to get her escorted out of the fucking show because she was so fucking weird. She would not leave me alone. It got weird.
And is it like you said, lesbian? Is it like a sexual thing? Is it like
I
people-
think just because I'm like such a tomboy, I don't know, and I don't really give a fuck. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I was talking about this with some of my
It's like scary though. Like I've had one send me, somehow they find my location and they like send me like fucking screenshots of like Google Maps with my pin on it of where I am right then. And it's freaking scary because you're like, but then half of me is like, it would be cool to get assassinated.
the prices only go up.
Yeah,
That's-
and I'm
that's-
out of here. You guys deal. But you never know what exactly their plan is.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably something to the street art thing. Is like, oh, I found you. Like, if there's this hidden, like, where are you going to be? But on Instagram now, it's like when I hit you up and you said, well, I'm leaving town for a while. Like, I followed your whole trip across the country. Is it
You're like, oh, Muck's eating at Joe's Cafe
yeah,
right
is
now.
it like a balance of like having the mystery of where am I going to paint something next, and then with the promotion of trying to have a lot of Instagram followers, and
Well,
here's what I'm
it's-
doing, and here's what I'm working.
Well, it helps me get shit. I sometimes dictate where I'm going. When I'm traveling like that, like I have a few pinpoints that already have jobs, and then in between, I'm like, who's in this area? Because I'm passing through. Who's here, 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 here? And then someone's like, well, I'm here. And I'm like, fuck it, we're going to Omaha. Like that's how it goes down. Like a lot of people like
I couldn't go to
create the
Omaha.
trip.
I'm cool with
Like
that.
I fly by the seat of my pants, and someone's like, I got a house you could crash at, and a wall, and I want to pay blah, and I'm like, okay, we're there. I had a girl, Ella, in LA, who I think I've met her, I don't know, but she lives in Venice, and when I was in Indianapolis, she lined up like 7 murals in one day. And one of them got national press, like just through Insta. She was like, hit up this, but this person, blah, 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 blah. And I was just going one. And it was all this person that I don't even really know that well. And that's how it happens. Like,
Instagram's
it's
great
cool.
for visual artists.
yeah.
And people love an asshole on Instagram. They love funny, like they love stupid. And Jules and I do that very well.
We're good at it.
We kill it at that. And I don't know.
When you start a new project, are you thinking in advance? Like,
Oh, that was the question like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We totally got way off track.
That's the best part of podcasts. Doesn't matter where we.
Wait, what was
got
the
it.
question?
I don't even remember. I
Who said what
I
now?
don't know, but apparently that triggered Annie into an old question, so we're gonna let her go.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say. Is like,
What?
so I think, like, okay, Jules is like, okay, I'm painting 2 fucking bunnies on the back of this denim shirt, and I don't know what I'm painting. I just kind of let it happen because, I mean, you could see by looking at like her stuff and my stuff, it's clear that I am a psychopath, and that she,
I think I'm also psychotic.
she is
Somewhat
way
psychotic.
crazier than me, in a good way.
Now,
And-
you said before that, Jules, that you are sober, but you will do beer stuff.
Oh, and pot stuff. If crack was
I have
needing
a-
advertising, I would paint for crack
Yeah,
companies.
fuck yeah.
No
I painted
problem.
for Nissan at the LA Auto Show, and I painted crack rocks. So they hired me to, they put me up on stage. They're like, all right, they wrap this Nissan car, and I'm like, I got this, right? And I paint like a nice rainbow kind of whatever, nothing, background. And then I just slap a bunch of crack rocks on there. Because who doesn't love crack, you know what I mean? And yeah, like I am on Melrose. I have,
Wait, hold on, go back. What's the reaction to the crack rock?
nobody
No one-
got it.
no one
It was
knows
just
it.
like, it was super
People
like,
at the auto show don't know what crack looks like.
I know,
No.
right? I was super
Weird
disappointed.
clouds with that.
But I
rainbow.
had people, like, I posted on Instagram, and it was a little concerning, actually, how many people recognized that they were crack rocks. and then I painted, like, there's a weed shop on Melrose that I painted this absolutely terrible. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And for some reason, this weed shop loves to be filmed. Like, they all, like, I think, who's that Gigolo, Deuce Bigelow Gigolo guy.
Right.
Okay, well, whatever, that guy.
Rob Schneider.
Yes, thank you. So he had a show, and like one of the like opening scenes of the show, they like zoom in on this like terrible mural I did, and what the mural is it's a what is it with the elephant with the legs? Not a geisha. That's a Japanese
Elephant with
prostitute.
legs.
What is it called? A Ganesh. And
Okay.
so, but what it looks like is a penis with a bunch of legs. And for some reason, and I did it, I too am a fan of the flesh tone color for some reason. So, and it's terrible. It's painted terribly. I did it years ago, and it's still chilling on that, like right there. And they always film there. And I think now they're actually doing a show on that weed shop, like, and it's just on blast, like.
Yeah, the weed
Terrible
shops
art,
are so
terrible art,
supportive.
terrible art.
The weed shops love it. They're like down.
Oh,
I guess
they made their cars,
They're
some business
so
cards has
down.
my mural on it, and I'm like, oh my god. That's another thing too. Is like, the more you paint, the better you get, right? And so I look back on like, see, I did graffiti in the '90s, and I did terrible graffiti. You want to know what I wrote?
Yes.
Not anything cool like muck.
What did you write? Vagina.
No, I was bread.
Brett.
Just bread.
Wait,
And then even, like nobody was saying like bread, like cheddar, like it was just like bread, like a loaf of bread.
Just like carbs.
And then totally, I went deep in the carbs. And then there was a guy, because there's no women. Oh no, there was. I'm sorry. There was a couple women. There was Reminisce, and she painted like horses all over. She was cool, and.
Yeah, hers
But
were
that
cool.
was when Barry McGee was like, he hadn't really gotten his fame. Shepherd Ferry hadn't gotten his fame. So this is like back. It's hitting it back. But there was a guy that wrote Butter. And so I'd always.
Oh, did you hang out?
He didn't know this, but we would unintentionally collab all the time. Like I
would
would
go right next to him.
He was not trying to collab with me because I was terrible. I was it was horrible. And
I
that
feel
was
like it might have been a love letter. Like,
Oh, it
I'm trying to
was.
be the butter to your bread.
Oh yeah, it was. It was really cute. It was a darling. I was so bad, but I got up, and it was like places like she was talking about. You get up in like weird spots, and it's a game. That's all it is.
Like
It's
a video game.
Yeah, like the best spots, the most like, you're driving down Market Street, and you're like, oh, there's a muck up there. Damn, how'd you get up there? And I'm too old for that shit now. Like I go up a flight of stairs, and I'm like, I'm cool. I'm done.
Oh, I've seen the way the way the kids are painting billboards these days. They roll up with a fucking ladder, bang the ladder down against the billboard, and walk up. and paint the billboard. They smash out the lights or they turn them off.
They didn't know the struggles of an OG graffiti writer like us.
There's no like cool
There
swinging.
was no Montana spray paint colors. We had to make our own tips, right?
Oh, the horrible.
It
was actually fun. I think that the Rustos that were out then were better, though. The American accents and stuff were really good. I used to use summer squash and burgundy, or like, or you get the pounder cans. And we didn't have the situation that they do now where they have the tips that are like so... Now you need an adapter to get your cap on this cap because they are trying to thwart the fucking graffiti writers. Yeah. But,
When did you start doing graffiti?
in the 90s, in like 93, 94. And then...
Where was that?
Actually, the first time I really started doing graffiti, I used to always write on stuff when I was little. I'd write with paint pens and write curses on everything, and I got in trouble. And when I got in trouble, I was also doing bad in school. So my dad's bright idea was to send me to an island off the coast of Turkey. And when I got there, graffiti got there around the same time. And so it was really new, and that book Subway Art was there. And everyone was either skateboarding or doing graffiti, and I was really clumsy. So I remember the first time I really had a can, I think it was like 93, 94, and I went behind it was a grain storage, a potato something storage thing or something, and I drew something and wrote Unity, and it was the world exploding, and I was like, damn, I'm good. I thought I was good. I was like, fucking so good. This is my calling. And so I started writing on everything. We had Suicide Crew, and we were all like half Greek, half American, and we had like our own language, and we destroyed the entire island. It's still, to this day, it's covered in graffiti because graffiti breeds graffiti, and like it just keeps going, and like now it's just covered. Like the local hardware store sells Belton. Like it's crazy on this little island because we just infected it, And when I went back to the Bronx in like, I guess it was like 95 or 96, or 90, I don't even know. The mid 90s, I went back to the Bronx and I was doing my thing. And I also was in England for a little on the way. And like, I just always painted my name on shit. And then people were like, oh, you write Muck? And I didn't even know. It was the time of AOL chat rooms. So what happened was I was on AOL looking at this chat room and they're like, Muck is this huge black dude and he's crazy. And I was like, me? Wow, cool. And then like I met someone saw me drawing in my black book, and they were like, oh, that's you? Like, come meet this crew. And I got thrown down with one of like the craziest bombing crews, like very like kind of gang related crew in the Bronx. And I was not that. Like I was like but it was cool. I was like, oh, this is what we do, okay, and I run around. I was the only girl. And it was like through the 90s to like 99, and it got really crazy. It was a lot of violence, and what happened during that time is I started like kind of progress style wise, and they were really into bombing, and the next group of people basically swooped me up, and Lady Pink saw me on a rooftop, and you know her because she was your judge at your show, but like. In 99, she saw me on a rooftop from the train, and she came up, and I was too embarrassed to talk to her. My friend gave her my number, and I apprenticed for her for 4 years after that. And she's like why I'm an artist, like pretty
she's
much.
Well, I remember I started graffiti like probably 97, 90. I was
And where was that?
San Francisco, and so I was down there, and I was working at a coffee shop. And there's this other cat that worked there, Andy, with 2 E's. Man, he was such a hipster. And we would make our own fixed gear bikes and have the Timbuktu. And I was like, cool, I'm a bike messenger, bro. And I had cans and shit in my bag. And he taught me how to paint. He was a graffiti. And I thought his style was so rad. I mean, it is so cool. Like, in retrospect, like, it was such a good time. It was a good time.
The way both of you guys talked about that, it's like you could tell you're like, looking back, it's like excitement. Is there a part of you that misses?
Yeah, because you want to know why? Because it wasn't about how many likes or how many followers. It wasn't about making money. It was like totally authentic. Like, authentic asshole. Like, nobody thought it was fucking cool back then. I mean, except for the people you were doing it with. Like, nobody was hiring you to put bubble letters on it. Nobody was doing that. And, I mean, everybody sucked. Like, I don't really know any graffiti writers back then, with the exception of, like, Saber. And, there's a big graffiti crew, which Ironically enough, so when I was doing graffiti back then, breadwinner, what? And so I did it for a few years, and then I got hooked on drugs, and I was like, no, drugs are way more important than graffiti. But like, my kind of people, like, I didn't have Lady Pink because she was in New York, but I did really love Lady Pink because she's OG as fuck. She's one of the first female, she bombed Subway. She's just dope. Anyway, but who I looked up to was this crew called MSK, Mad Society Kings, and actually AWR. They were AWR before they were MSK. But like, there was a few in there that were, I would look and I'm like, man, that is some dope shit. That is some very cool neato stuff right there. And it was Saber. Neato. Yeah, Saber.
Brad thinks I'm neato.
Yeah, it's like, you're neato, bro. I got you. And then who was it? Revoke. And I remember it, and so they were like, had the style. And at that time, like, all I could do was like bubble letters, like throwies all the time. Like, there was no style. No, we used to paint in like but anyway, let me get back on track. Okay, so I always looked up to these guys.
The track is gone. Don't worry about it.
It's gone. And I was like, God, those guys are dope, dude. And I never, like, so I was, like, big in the graffiti scene. I was put myself right in the middle. I got this appreciation for graffiti. And then when I came out here 10 years ago, I got thrown into the street art gallery. And, you meet a lot of people in the art world and a lot of these OG graffiti writers like Saber and, all those cats. Like, they become fine artists now. And I had the opportunity to meet them. And then I ended up unknowingly, like, I dated this guy whose brother started MSK in AWR. So it was like all of a sudden, and I didn't know he was in it. I was like, whatever, you're hot. So it was like a one-night stand that never ended. God.
You said drugs became more important than art. Drugs are better than art. How long of a break from art was it? And was it?
There's been multiple breaks throughout the year. I just needed a little reset a few times. I didn't. So I did graffiti when I was younger, and then I didn't do shit. Like, I was like on and off drugs for my whole 20s, and so I'm part of my 30s. And so, like, I mean, I would draw like a shitty picture every once in a while, but it wasn't until like somebody got me for my, I think it was my 28th birthday. They got me, this guy I was dating at the time bought me some canvases because he'd always see me like doodle and stuff. Got me some canvases and some paint, and he's like, here, try this. And I'm like, okay. So I painted these 9 shitty paintings, and I was working as a barista at the time in Santa Cruz. Fucking kill yourself. And then like, and like the local artist of the month or whatever didn't show up. And I remember this fucking tool. He was such an idiot, this retard guy. And I was really, so I got asked to put up these 9 shitty paintings because I had been telling like my coworkers, oh yeah, I picked up a painting, I don't know. And so I was so nervous, and I'm like, what if nobody likes it? And then me. And this fucking asshat, I don't even know how I knew him. He just goes, Annie, who gives a fuck if people like it? For some reason, I was like really like concerned about what people thought of my art. Meanwhile, I'm a complete basket case all over the place. And so I'm like, fuck, this motherfucker's right. And I literally, that one sentence that this dildo of a person said to me randomly changed my whole entire perspective. And I'm like, you know what? You're goddamn right. I don't give a fuck. I put those 9 paintings up and I sold out within the first 30 days. It was cool. And then I was like, I'm on to something now. And so then, like, I went to all the, I don't know why I'm going off on this crazy train, but I went to all the, like, coffee shops and hair salons and weed places and fucking, I don't know, anything that would let me hang, I would.
So, in comedy, when you, like, I think it's a great approach for all artists, music, whatever, to not care what people think. Now, as a comic, I go on stage and I don't care what people think, but there is, I have a side of my bargain that I'm supposed to uphold, which is they're supposed to laugh.
Right.
So there's always that pressure of kind of towing that line of like, it's got to be for me, but but it's got to work for them.
Oh, dude, I can't. That's the same with art, man.
What?
Yeah, but there's such a variety of people that, like, it's always weird. Like, we were talking about this the other day. Like, sometimes people like it and some other people don't like it.
Now, the like it, though, how do you know? Is it just a matter of, like, selling it and people, like, you go to a gallery and people don't buy it and you're like, I guess this isn't it?
You gotta usually get some press for it, or you'll get a bunch of fucking...
You could get press for the ones people don't like, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, my bunnies get more press than anything else, and lots of people don't like
Negative press. Like, people saying
I
they
mean,
don't like it.
or people fighting about whether they should be there or not there.
Right.
But, like, I think that it's so, like, there's so many fucking different views. Like, the point about art is not, like or not like. It's, like, are people talking about stuff? Like, is it making people talk to each other? Like, that's rad, you know? Like, if it's just boring and no one has anything to say, to me, that's, like, meh. If it's not exciting for me or anyone around me, boring.
When it has a reaction.
Right.
Whether it's good or bad. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, if someone connects with it.
Yeah, like, I mean... Yeah, or
but
even
let's say you put up a mural somewhere, right? What are you like driving by and seeing if people are taking pictures in front of it?
Well,
are you
because we're
checking the
total
location on
hams. Because it's
Instagram?
me, you, me. I mean, that's like for me, like the nature of the game, right? So, in graffiti, you're putting your name up everywhere.
Right.
Me. There's Annie. I mean, I don't know. I'm totally. It's all about me, and like so totally. That's like an Instagram.
So when I see your guys' stuff up, I should just assume you're hiding in the bushes somewhere, hoping I'm standing there taking a picture of it.
Yeah,
well, no, I think it's cool though when I really like I started using the muck rock thing and putting it on there because it relates to the Instagram.
Right.
Now people call me muck rock, which is weird because it just was muck for a long time. But like I really like when I'm on the other side of the world and someone freaking shoots me a message. And they say hi to me, like, because they're standing in front of one of my fucking murals.
That's
very
so
cool. Sweet. Like, it's like, wow, we just learned how to talk through fucking art. Like, that's dope. I mean, I don't care if you want to call it, like, whatever, corny, whatever. Like, I just got to talk to someone I've never met, and we connected.
Yeah.
And now we're in touch, you know? And, like, maybe they have a project, and that's how it goes, you know? Like, and I hear from people every day, all day. Because there's murals all over the world that I have my little stupid thing on. And people are like, hey, I'm here with this. I'm shooting a picture of that. And some of these people get to be like pretty good friends, you know? We just stay in touch. And then when I'm roaming around the country, they're like, hey, I want to commission you. Come to my house. And then all of a sudden I know their family. I'm sleeping in somebody's bed. You know, like I'm just there, you know? And it's crazy. And a lot of times the way people are affected by art is so overwhelmingly positive.
Hey,
like I've had people say,
oh
my God. I saw this painting and it reminded me to contact my sister who I don't talk to anymore, and now we're talking, and like, you know, so I hear these kind of stories.
It brings
that's
all
the
walks
shit.
of life.
That's so cool.
There's like some saying, I don't know what it is. I'm not even trying to pretend to quote this shit, but like it's, you know, an artist can kind of like blend with every walk of life, from the homeless person to the richest person.
Yeah, it crosses
you know
all
what
cultural
I mean? Like,
boundaries.
And it's true what Jules said. Like it really does. It brings people that you normally would never gel with or never talk to together. Like, you know, because I've had people like, I'm like, oh, for sure, this is what's gonna piss that person off, and they're like, I love that. Like I was wearing my leather jacket that said "fuck off, cunt" on the back because it's hilarious, and it gets people really upset. And then also people either love it or they hate it. There's no in between. The cunt word is like,
oh yeah,
widely underused here, but like so awesome, and it really stirs up a reaction. And so I'll wear it to like Whole Foods in down Montana and Santa Monica, and so I wore it to some building the other day, and this businesswoman, you know, you would never think in a million years. So she's wearing like a pantsuit. She's probably like 60, you know. I mean, she looks like Hillary Clinton, you know, that kind of deal. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, it's out there now, because sometimes I have a big bag and I'll throw it over my shoulder if there is a little kid, because I'm like, all right, he doesn't need to be saying that. But I was just like, I'm just going to let this one rock. And she goes, so I walk past her and I'm like, she's kind of snooty. I'm going to the bathroom or something. And she goes, excuse me. And I'm all, oh, here we go. She's like, can I take a picture of your jacket? Because it is awesome. She goes, good for you, girl. And I'm like, oh, that's so rad. Yeah. And I was so humbled by it.
Because you can't tell what people are going to really say. Like, you can't judge people by their cover. You can't really judge art for... But that's also why it bothers me when people, like, draw the wrong conclusions and they try to perpetuate a myth about me. Because I'm like, you're trying to cut me off from people. That's what you're trying to do. Right. And that's why I get offended. I'm like, don't fucking say that about me. And that's going to make other people not, think correctly. So, but what can you do? Like, you're right.
Is it safe to say that, like, you just want... whatever you put up to speak for itself? It is what it is. It is whatever you...
Yeah. I mean, I don't like when some people try to dictate things.
I mean, you're definitely not trying to go out of your way to hurt somebody's feelings, because we're accidentally assholes enough. We don't need to try to be assholes,
And it's not about hurting anyone, ever.
Yeah,
like,
ever. Like, I mean, like, I know... Well, I'll speak for Jules. We kid. We joke.
Yeah.
You joke. But at the end of the day, like, I know we don't hate anybody. We don't want to be hated on.
Yeah.
I know. Actually, I take that. I kind of like getting hated on. I kind of do a little bit. Like, I like getting yelled at. Like, it's like the only way.
You're kind of a masochist.
I am. Kind of a lot.
It's something about, like, setting people off at least a little bit so that you know.
Well, it's just
it's an easy way to say, like, okay, I still got the touch. Like, I can. It's easier to. People don't go, you made me so happy all that often. But if you poke them and they piss them off.
How boring is that?
Right.
Like...
it's nice to hear, like Jules said, like, it's nice
when
to have somebody
someone
reach out to you.
Something positive.
It's not usually a fast twitch reaction.
Well, I mean, it also, too, like, in the art world, like, I try to be as authentic as possible, like, but, you really have to play, like, there's a lot with anything. There's a lot of politics in it, and I don't know. The art world's fucking weird. I don't... Well, actually, Jules, you don't go to that many art shows, huh?
No, they're weird. I don't like them. Even in my art show, I need to have, like, something to do. Like, when I've been talked into several art shows, and I was, like, you'll find me there tattooing or live painting or doing something, because I don't want to be there. Or I just won't show up, because I'm not going to stand around, and, like, it's too uncomfortable. I mean, first of all, I don't go out, generally. I don't go to the bar. I don't go to I don't go to the movies. I don't do anything. Like, I go and work somewhere. I paint. I'll go if a friend's band is playing, and I'll dance. I'll have some fun. But, like, standing around an art show, like, I just don't know why I'm there. And, like...
And people telling you how great you are and how wonderful your piece is. And when I look at this piece, I really... Me. And I'm like, bro, it's really not that deep. Blue's the only color I had. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's really...
I kind of like when people read into shit. And they tell me some cool shit. I'm like, damn.
Eat some popcorn and listen to these motherfucking critics.
Yeah, I like them when they come up with something that I didn't see. That's really interesting. But, like the thing about this, they said about the cigarette, the bunny with the cigarette is actually a play. It's kind of a commentary on male impotency.
Oh yeah, they got deep with it,
that's
dude.
amazing.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
Oh yeah, no,
great.
I just like sit back and I watch it. It's so great. People trying to interpret.
But I'm just uncomfortable at art shows because, like, look, I'll tell you, like I said, I'm sober. I used to get super wasted. I used to be so drunk at my own art shows. Like, I would carried in, already passed out, wake up, throw up. You know,
retina?
Fucking pretty much, like, have to cop all my shit before I get there and then, go there with a bunch of homeless people that are looking for free booze. And that was my role, And so now I'm like, what do I do here? Why are we even here? Well, and it's weird. I mean, I don't know.
You guys are both sober now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's the art different from when you're...
Well, I don't paint. When I'm getting loaded, like, I do not paint. Like, I am a pile of... I'm, like, complete...
I'm like the opposite.
Pile of shit.
I prostitute the fuck out of my art. Like, I'll paint anything you want, any style you want. I'll reproduce things. I'll make fake paintings. I'll do anything I can paint like a fucking machine when I'm on drugs, but there comes a point when I crash and I'm in the hospital on life support and I never know when that's coming. It's always a surprise. But, like, for years I can go, like, and that's kind of like how I established myself as an artist and why I can paint any different style is because I supported a 10-year heroin addiction with painting. And because I'll fucking paint anything. And it was almost like when I try to do that kind of art, like when I've tried to do shit that I don't like and paint other people's shit sober, I can't actually do
awful.
it. I can't do it.
When they give you, like, I remember, oh, shit, microphone. What do you, when I got asked to do this mural, actually, ironically, on a rehab, and there was no, like, I didn't have any artistic leeway. The guy was like, I want like a prison scene here, and then I want like, a plane, and then like put a couple waves in there, and I'm all, that sounds like a terrible mural. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. That's not gonna flow at all, dude. And I'm all, it's not even the style I painted. And he's like, that's what I want. And I remember, and it was before I got, because there's always a relapse before the relapse. Before you start using drugs, you start acting like a fucking idiot, and you really start being an asshole, like legit asshole. And it was during my asshole, months pre-relapse, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this shit. And I remembered it was a nightmare. I remember doing this one mural, because when you get to the point in your career like Jules and I have, where you get hired to have a Jules Muck piece, an Annie Preece
That's
piece.
dope.
Yeah,
we love those
That
people.
is dope. When you get to that point, like,
The
both her
coolest
and I have
people
worked our
are
ass
just
off
like,
for it.
I don't even, whatever you think. They're so checked out. I mean, they love, it's like, you fucking trust me. A lot of times people will be like, anything but the bunnies,
Oh, mine are anything
but a penis.
but the dicks. No dicks, Annie. Didn't you send me something? No dicks?
Oh yeah, you were talking about something.
No, you said if I buy a piano.
And I wanted you to paint it, but I said #no dicks.
Yeah. Thank you for making that hashtag.
So
I hear that every single time I'm getting hired to paint something. No dicks.
I really
They're hilarious.
yeah, what's not to like?
I don't know why. That's like just a huge dick.
So we've talked a lot about like how do you determine what you're gonna do, what you're gonna charge. So we could just go through the process. I want to get a collab piece on the side of a garage.
$2 million.
$2 million. It's gonna be.
I mean, you could come back. We'll take
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you hit us with your
I-
price
I
now?
have-
We'll settle in
I
the
have
middle.
far less than $2 million.
I have
Just
$40 and a pack of
So
cigarettes.
this is how I go. I'm like, wait, is it public or is it private?
private,
Private costs more because you're
Yeah.
fucking hogging our shit.
right?
Basically, if
Yeah.
it was for everybody, we'll cut you a deal because we love everybody.
Well, and also when you get an artist to do a commission piece, I always charge more. That's like the
Right.
thing, because the client is getting exactly what they want. So why?
oh,
the fuck
well,
would they
yeah,
want
we're
to
gonna tell you. Are you gonna tell us what to do? How much leeway do we have?
So here's it. I'm gonna play
They
with
run
your
it.
heartstrings a little bit, and then there's also gonna be a lot of leeway. My girlfriend moved up to a place right up here, off of like right behind Rite Aid. She's got a back area. There's a big somebody else's garage that faces our property. When we were building the place out, my dog was there. We were so excited to have a backyard for the dog. Vince has since died. So we want Vince to look over the yard where he was going to be. We have a new dog to look over the new dog. And then behind Vince, whatever you two's idea of heaven is, whatever Vince is doing.
That's a bunch of dicks again.
Yeah,
it always
but-
comes
Wait,
back.
bunch
to
of
what?
dicks,
What
bunch
is
of
the
fucking
surface
bunny.
made of?
It's stucco. It's the stucco.
Oh,
side
stucco
of
is
the road.
nice. We
Yeah,
like
that
stucco.
is good
We
stuff.
like a stucco.
I'm painting a
situation.
stucco fence situation right now. Actually.
Yeah.
I'm doing some waves.
So yeah, there could be dicks, there could be bunnies,
Finger
whatever.
waves.
I imagine there's fucking bunnies in heaven and lots of dicks.
Oh,
Yeah,
heaven
yeah.
for doggies. Yeah.
We should collab on that.
With
You should do the
dogs.
fucking bunny, and then I'll just do a super photorealistic dick on it.
Heaven.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Depending
mean,
on how big it
roughly,
is.
yeah. How big is it?
How detailed out do you want it? Like, can we knock it out in a day, or is it going to be a
We
week
can
long
knock
thing?
anything out in a day.
Well, you can. I can't.
Well,
I
yeah.
paint. She busts shit out because she's been doing it longer than I have. I take my time. Like, I've been working on this one.
So I'll be leaving Annie with you after I.
Yeah. Stuck with me.
Annie's moving in.
I have been working on this one painting for so fucking long. I've never worked this long
Which
on a
one?
painting.
The fucking
The peacock shit.
Yeah,
storm.
I
That's what
noticed
it-
that.
It's
That's
literally
like zombie peacock apocalypse.
Say it again. Say it again.
Peacock zombie apocalypse,
Oh,
and they're shedding.
Oh yeah, no, it's
It's
out of
like
is on
a
what?
lot is going on.
It's on canvas, and it's like 3 feet by 3 feet, and it's just I've been working on it for a month and a half. Granted, I haven't worked on it every day, but that's another one where I sat down and I'm like, I'm just gonna paint my feelings.
Yeah, but I've had canvases that I've worked on for like 4 months because you leave it for a while and then you go back to it, you know. But when I'm at somebody's house, I don't want to be there extra long, and I want to get it done. And also, I'm not I'm not at my house, so I'm not taking a break. I'm not, I'm like doing the thing,
Yeah.
doing the thing. And also if I'm on a job where there's a lift, I'm doing the thing because we're paying for the lift,
Right.
and I go through it. And like when I'm traveling, I get it done as fast as possible because I'm only in town for today, So there's different factors that make me push it. And then there's different factors that, like, if you're working on a canvas, you're like, this is my canvas. I'm going to do it when I feel this way. I only want to work on it at this time. This is what I do at night when the day is done and I have nothing to do. I fucking sit and work on the canvas. So, like, it's all different. I mean, I have canvases that bust out 10 in a day. And then there's ones that, they just sit around and, like, they just seem to take forever because you keep changing it and stuff. But, like, typically, like, if you're going into someone's backyard, you're hoping, like I've done garage murals and it takes a day. I usually get anywhere between 1,500 and 2,500, Did
you just make a meme of me while I was sitting here? You did, dude. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I'm so proud
So,
of you.
we'll wrap it up pretty soon. The peacock thing.
Yeah.
You say you've been working on it for that long. Like, how do you know when it's done?
You don't. There's a great quote. It was like Pablo Picasso or something. He goes, "You never finish a painting, you just abandon it." So when you're like, you know what, I'm over it, because an artist can work on a painting for the rest of their life.
Yeah, eventually you just stop wanting to look at it.
Yeah.
Or like something happens, like some idiot buys it, and you're like, yeah, it's done. And then or someone wants to put in a show, and like after that, it's set in stone and it's gone.
Yeah.
Have you ever been looking at something somewhere, whether it be a public piece or at a show, and been like,
I forgot the eyebrow. Yes, I've had that happen.
The eyebrow.
Fucking one eyebrow's there. You're like, where's the other eyebrow? It's too late.
Dude, every time I see a mural of mine or look at something, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone back and just been like, I'm gonna fucking throw that
Yeah, I
eyebrow
have.
on?
Yeah.
Probably.
I hate. So I'm astonished. Like I do every piece to the best of my ability. Like I don't care how small the job is, how big the job is. I do it the best I fucking can. Literally.
Well, you try to zone and channel that good feeling. That's worth more than money. Like when you
really
feel
is.
like your shit's fire, no amount of money. Like it don't matter who you're painting for, where you're painting, if you ever see it again, if they take it and sell it for 3 times
how many
as
likes
much,
you got.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because when you hit that fucking high note, it's like better than any
It's like
drug.
a runner's high.
Yeah.
Except you're sitting on your ass.
Except you don't have to do But like you're just like, woo! And it feels so good that like that's what you do it for.
Oh,
That's
look at
why
that drop
you do it.
shadow.
Like, hell yeah, you got to get paid so that you can do that again tomorrow. But like, no amount of money can buy that feeling.
Oh, it's so awesome. It's so awesome, dude. It's really cool, like, driving by and seeing, like, a big fucking mural they've done, like, and knowing that, especially when because everything is temporary, right? In life, in art, everything like that. But, like, a lot of the walls that you see these murals on, like, they get changed out every few months.
Knocked down, all kinds of shit.
But what's cool is when you get a spot that you know is going to ride, like your mural is going to ride there a long time. Like I painted, I think I was talking about this, at this elementary school on Melrose, and I painted this, they go, make it educational theme. And I'm like, no problem, right? And they asked me to do a sketch. I do terrible sketches. Horrible sketches. Like, I can't even.
Same spot. I hate that wall. My wall, I'm just like, every time, I hate it.
Okay, so I did that.
Like it.
Okay. I did this big, like mine, I got this big wall in front, and it faces Melrose, like Melrose and La Brea. I don't even know the name of the elementary school. Doesn't matter. But, and so they're like, educational. So, like pencils and, math equations, and I'm like, no, fuck that, dude. I'm putting a unicorn, a pink dolphin, a slice of pizza, a big octopus, and it's all gonna look like it's coming out of a big crack in the wall. And I know that's just gonna be there for years. Here's the funny thing about that, right? So after we did it, did you hear about this? So
I don't remember.
So this artist Justin Bua is the guy that kind of coordinated all. He's a big artist. He's and he asked the kids to basically, kids, do you like this? And even in elementary school, there's this one motherfucker, this little fucking twat bitch, cunt, asshole fucker.
I don't think that's
appropriate. And he was like, yeah, I don't like the unicorn. And I was going to kick his ass. He was like 12, but I was going to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Always
Always a hater.
Always a hater. Always a hater. And it was so funny is that, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is that any blogs are the worst. The worst. Oh, God. I love it, though. Now, anyway, so... But it's like, it's like what Jules was talking about. Like, there'll be 1,000 amazing comments. You're amazing. You're my spirit animal. I want to be you. I want to wear your skin. Like, just weird shit. And then there'll be that one person that's like, yeah, I don't like it. And all you focus on is that one motherfucker. It's incredible.
Because it's also like, what? Okay, you don't like it. Why do you have to say it?
Yeah, I know.
Why do you need
Why are you on my shit?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what
what my
doing
biggest
here?
question is. I'm like, they'll write me messages about how fucking terrible of a person I am, and then I'm like, why are you on my Instagram talking to me about how much I suck?
Where do they find the time? Because here's the thing is that people that are killing it don't have time to hate.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Exactly.
hate. See, I love a strong woman. That's why I love Jules. I love Jules, and I love that she can get down on some pain. And I've never hated on Jules, and she has taught me a lot about technique, about just the art world, and she's helped me out on things.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
I don't know how to do
exercising
this. Help me, Jules. Yeah, like I don't get that hating bullshit. Like I don't get it, dude. Like
Well,
it
I
doesn't
don't think
serve
it
you.
comes from like our peers. I think it definitely
No, it
comes
comes
from
from the trolls.
Trolls that are like, they don't even want you to know that it's them.
Like, okay,
they're making
so-
up a fake thing with the,
We were on that terrible show, the Instagram. Wow, I'm hooked on Instagram right now.
Street art throwdown.
Yeah,
Street
but
art
on
throwdown.
Instagram,
ever.
yeah, it was the worst name ever. I had great.
I
names
don't
for
like
that
the
show.
term street art. I
I-
know
neither
it's
do
just
I.
like stop separating it
Yeah.
from
seems
what
like
it
it's
is.
art.
I know a lot of graffiti writers that also do characters, that also do murals, and it's graffiti. And if you want to call one thing graffiti and one thing street art, there's no fucking line. There's not a line in between it. And it's all fucking arts and crafts. Every gang tag, you're doing arts and crafts. That's what you're doing out there with your spray can.
You should get him some popsicle sticks.
I know. Here you go. Glue these together and stick them on the wall, you fucking gangster.
Make a hand turkey.
Yeah.
Hand turkey. Wait a minute now. Let me talk about the hand turkey. You know that screaming hand of Jim Phillips' screaming hand? It's a skateboard graphic out of Santa
Okay, yeah,
Cruz.
yeah, yeah.
Screaming hand.
Yeah,
I made a screaming hand turkey. Would you care to look at it?
of course.
I call it Celebration because it's sexual and violent. Do you know where that's from?
No?
Wedding Crashers. It's the best line ever in a movie. I don't know why I know that. I don't know any other quotes from movies.
So yeah, I'm going to be looking at Screaming Hand Turkey.
Just no.
Just
no.
Just look.
Just look. Yes.
Hello. We're doing a podcast. Come on in.
Well, we'll wrap this up. I'll give you guys. Oh, that's awesome. That's fucking fantastic.
So, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving like a good American, put up the screaming hand turkey. Do me a favor.
I think
that
it's
shit.
amazing. I was like, Annie's back.
I'm back.
I mean, I like this stuff best.
All right,
I
the
don't know
last
why.
question for you guys. What is like the dream job? Somebody comes to you and they say, I want you to paint this thing.
I really like it when people have a little bad thing that they want to do and they hire me to do it. Like I've had people hire me to go onto their own billboards and destroy them because they think they'll get, like, can you go put the bunnies up here?
Yeah.
I think that's so funny. Or like the dream one would be to destroy the most dream place. Like if someone was like, can you go do graffiti all over the Guggenheim or something like that? Like
That
something
would be
hilarious.
fresh.
Like, or
That-
go paint a vagina on the White House. Yes, we'll do it. Because it's always good if someone's like, I got everything. The lawyers, the money, your bail's covered, you're golden. Now go. That's a fucking dream job. Or like, we're going to airdrop you into this war zone. You're covered on all sides. And all you have to do is this job.
No risk, high reward.
Fucking awesome, Like, if you're doing some crazy shit and someone's got your back, like, that's the best. That's the best job, I think. I don't know.
Agreed.
Where can everybody find you guys?
Right here at 12,
In Jules' front yard.
or the local curb.
Yeah.
Instagram at Muckrock,
Yes.
at Annie Preece.
ANNIEPRCE. Wait,
You
what's
missed
my
an
name?
E.
Use your own
Wow.
Dada has his own Instagram too. That's his Dada Muck. He's been very quiet and patient.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic podcast audience member.
Would you like to say anything? No, he's shy.
Guys, go on the Instagram. It's all about the Instagram these days. Go find the art out in the streets and paint your own dicks.
That's right.
And yeah, check out our show at the Door Gallery.
The Door Gallery.
Post my hand turkey.
And post the hand turkey for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'll
Be
come paint
festive.
bunnies on anything you have.
I'll paint dicks on anything.
And a 2-for-1, Dick Bunnies.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey Joe, I like Joe's show. I tell everybody that's my shit. See, I had a long ride, turn the volume up high, and the time flew by so quick. I laughed out loud, that's what it's about. I really don't feel safe no more. And Joe stands out even in a big crowd, cause he drinks till he hits the flow. Hey Joe, it's time to stop the show. Pack it up and away we go. Donate cause we almost broke. Everybody, that was Joe.